Well, hi Ken, here's your video. For the YouTubers and people new to sharpening, or maybe someone that's wanting information on the Tsprof KO3, this video is for you. I plan to walk you through the accessories that come in the KO3 gift kit. You're looking at it. We'll open it up and let you look at it. My plan is to walk you through the accessories. I'm going to set them out here on the table in just a minute. I promise you this video will be 20 minutes, somewhere there. I'm going to show you the basic how to assemble it. It looks scary sitting here. And then I'm going to do a basic resharpening on a dull knife so that you can see it from purchase to a sharp knife. So sit back, fellas, enjoy. I hope this is helpful to you. Here we go. Okay, welcome back, Ken, fellow sharpeners. This is the Tsprof KO3 gift kit. These are the accessories that you get laying here on this piece of carpet. We'll start off with the profile abrasives. You get a 120, 220, 400, 600, 1000, your book. We have the double clamps, the double fillet clamps, the single clamp. You have a clamp to clamp this whole assembly to a table. You have your professional tool set, which is 4 screwdriver type Allen wrenches. They are nice. We have the paste, abrasive paste, basically for the cruft. We have a goodies bag, some extra screws in it for you, feet. Here's a 45X magnifier. We go to the scissor clamp, the heavy duty base, which your support and everything goes on, you'll see in a minute, your digital angle cube, and a leather cruft. So let's move on to assembly and get started. Okay, Ken, we're back. We'll do a basic knife sharpening now and see if we can take this knife, which they were cutting pop cans with. See that? The tip to the heel, so you can get the best, most consistent sharpening angle on your blade, so it looks the most consistent. We take and put a mark, and we also measure so that we are halfway, and it just helps to set it up more consistently every time we sharpen this knife. And the more consistent you are with your setup, the more consistent your bevel's going to be. And hopefully you can see that from the tip to the heel. This is pretty consistent all across here. And if you set your knife up, too far one way or the other, especially on a bigger knife. Small knife like this isn't as critical. If you were sharpening a 10-inch knife, that becomes a lot more critical. So we'll bring this up here. I've got a mark here on my clamp for halfway. I try to match my line, and we will snug the 3 screws up, snug the ones closest to the knife first, and then we'll snug the back one up. And I've never had a knife slip in this. I mean, that normally it holds them like the Rock of Gibraltar. Okay, looks pretty good to me. So we'll take and ready for the scratch test. Alright, that's just not blacking to my satisfaction. I mean, it's there, but it is and it isn't. It's not real dark. I would like darker than what it is still. Alright, so We're going to take this and put a fine stone. We want to remove the ink. We're not really out to remove a bunch of metal. Now, hopefully you can see that right here. This is cut at an angle. So bringing this knob here, I can squeeze that, and that moves this back. So if I put this in here, squeeze it, it'll let the stone drop right in there. And that spring tension holds everything together. So if I bring this and put this on that, I can take it up, and let's grab this, and we will give it a check to see roughly where it is. I know this knife, I believe, was around 17, and we are way off. Both gauges are saying 25-ish, and I guess I was displaying that earlier. And let's see, the gauge is saying it's 17, or bouncing off of 17, and all right, there's 17.3, and I will take the micro, the smaller adjuster, and bring it in. Trying to do it on the other one, we'd be here all day. All right, so it's bouncing 17.4 to 17.6. So that should be real close. Now your most accurate thing is to, oh yeah, that dialed it right in. Now, I commonly take a piece of paper and jot down what I sharpen things at. It just makes it much nicer. You can take off a couple of thousandths if you mark things consistently, clamp them consistently every time you sharpen. Now, you're going to remove a lot less metal. Now, I want to set this so you can see this is going way up over the edge of the knife. And that's not going to do us any good. So we'll bring it back about a quarter, and we're going to take the one here, bring it up, and I want to collapse the spring a little bit and snug this up. That's going to stop me from being able to go up and skin up the top of my knife. I'll bring it down. Of course, we want to be able to use all of the stone that we can. So I bring it down, same thing, collapse the spring, and snug that up. Now, when I come down, I'm not going to come off. I'm going to come close, probably closer than what I want. But anyway, so just for quickie demonstration, I'm going to run with it. And it looks pretty good on that side. Just polish it here. I mean, it looks good on both sides, so I don't know what I'd do if it was good on one side and not the other. I haven't run into that yet. I'm sure there'll be a time. All right, so we've got our length of throw, and this knife, while it's dull as it might be sharper now since we've run that stone back and forth a few times, it might be a little more likely to cut me, so I better show it just a little bit of respect, I guess. So we'll bring this up here. I'm going to start with my middle stone. Actually, I grabbed the wrong one. I grabbed a 6. I want to start with the 4. I think the 4 will bring it in quick since it's dull, but it hasn't been really beat up. It looks pretty decent. I don't have any chips. I don't have any real hard work. I need to remove a lot of metal. So there's just no need for me to be using a real aggressive stone and be, now, you should take this all the way out to the point, bring it all the way back. Sooner or later, you'll run into one where it'll be okay here, but when you get out here, you're going to be off. So it's always something to look at, double check. All right, I like to go back and double check that everything's tight, and I didn't tighten up my collar back here. And that'll just keep us a little steadier if I have everything snug. And I'll just touch everything. I think we're good to go. Make sure everything's snugged up. So we're ready to sharpen. I'm going to take and turn on I wish I'd have turned this on at the beginning so you'd have known how long it took to set this up. Probably 4 minutes, 5 minutes tops. All right, so this thing is getting sharper. So we're going to take and it's already wet. So we'll take and just run over this and raise a burr on this. And so we'll just take a few strokes, and I expect this knife to come around quick. Now we're cutting pop cans with it. I've got a burr on the nose and kind of spotty burr coming on down. So I've moved down and worked the bottom just a little heavier because I've got it out here on the point. I just didn't have it here on the belly. So we'll run up and down this a few times. Park that. Now you can look at this and see how clean, dirty, does it need cleaned? Does it need some more water? And you can see right there, it's removed. Some of that is stone, some of it's metal. And I'll take my fingers, just dip it in here. Some guys like a spray bottle, others like little drip bottles. I tend to like the bottles like this better. And I can come up here and just put a drop, and that's all I need. I don't need to drown it. I don't need water everywhere. So we come back. That side is sharp. We've got a burr all the way. So I can flip it over, and we'll knock the burr off. Now this knife, I know, is fairly soft. The thing you have to beware of when you're dealing with a pretty soft knife, when you raise your burr, that burr, I wish I had a piece of paper and could really illustrate, but if you can imagine, you're rolling metal over the edge. When you sharpen this side, we get a burr on the other side. And I've got a burr all the way on this side. So I'm just going to make a couple passes, knock the burr off with this 400 stone, and change stones. There's no need for me to sit there and go back and forth, back and forth. Couple of strokes, I remove the burr. All right, I don't feel a burr there now. So we're hopefully at a neutral point. And we'll grab the next stone, which should be a 600. Slap it in up here. And we're sharp at this point. All we're doing now is refining that edge, making it prettier, smoother. We're not, for the most part, making it much sharper. It's just prettying it up. And if you had a box opening knife, something like that, a straight edge that, say you're opening sausage rolls or something like that, where you need it to cut through the plastic, something like that, you'd be better off to leave it where it had, the toothiness from your stone. And that toothiness will allow it to cut through that plastic. If you ever grabbed a knife that was supposed to be sharp, it might cut through meat beautifully and different things. Doing different things, a knife can do one thing well and not another. So we're going to roll this back and forth a couple times. And that's mostly in the interest of working that burr and being sure that we get rid of it. Now, a knife this soft, you know, it can take a few times to get rid of. And if you've got a stubborn one, I'll take a piece of wood and just run it down that piece of wood. And I've rolled just a little bit. I worked that on this other side. I rolled burr on this other side. So that's telling me it's a soft knife, and I'm going to have to really work to get rid of that burr so that I've got a sharp knife. I mean, you'll feel it and look at it, and it's like, that knife has got to be sharp. And I've seen guys, you know, take and just whittle away half of the blade. But, you know, going back to the sharp, or the most abrasive stone they have, and it's not sharp, it's not sharp. And what they've done is they've rolled that metal over, and I mean, when they feel it like this, it's edgy. You feel that edginess. But when you go to do a paper cut or some other, you know, fancy test on it, you know, is it sharp? It just won't cut, you know. And, you know, so I've seen guys do that over and over. And the secret to that is, in my opinion, is, you know, you've probably got a softer knife, and that burr has rolled, so it is not going to be super sharp. We've got to get rid of that burr. And one of the tricks to that is, you know, to take and maybe a piece of wood, or you can take it, I mean, you can roll back and forth like this. Metal is eventually going to break. But the easiest thing, in my opinion, we can grab a chunk of wood, even this phone book, and just run it down the edge like that a couple of times, and we're going to get rid of the burr. Now, it feels nice and smooth now, so we're going to take and refine this just a little more with this 1000, and 7 minutes. Of course, I've been talking like crazy, and we'll refine the point here a little bit. We want to go all the way up so that the sheen goes all the way. Yeah, it looks like one continuous line. So we'll go back and forth, and I'll do a 8 countdown. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 2, 1. 1, 2, 1, and 1. All right, so let's wipe it off, take a look at it, see what we think of it. And I would say, you know, it should be beautifully sharp. So let's get the magnifier down here where we can see it for an old blind guy. Sure looks good to me. And I'm convinced, so get this out of the way again. And of course I left my phone out of the way. So I'm going to go ahead and strop it. Now, this is a heavy steel knife, a lot of corrosion on it. And the white compound is more for this, and the green is more for your heavy stainless steel. So we can take this, bring it over here again, take our stone out. The strop is, I think, 200 millimeters long. So it's longer than this is set up. This will take different stones, different lengths. So I can put it in there, bring it back, put spring tension on that, and I've had good luck with just stropping it. I'm pretty crooked. And when you strop, you're always stropping down. And that will clean that up and just make that edge just shine. Now, I call this a water reflection edge, where you've got a nice, pretty sheen to it. And I'm going to stop and try to get a picture of that on my phone. I've reset up the camera a little bit, trying to get that view for you of the edge. Now this is just wiped off. I'll wipe it again. What that edge looks like. And this is after it's stropped. And you can tell clearly that that edge is much more refined, pretty. May not be any sharper, but it is probably minorly sharper, but it sure looks prettier. So we'll strop this, say 10 times. And it will clean that and just make that edge polished and shine. Okay, there we go. I would say that should do a fantastic job. So unclamp this, do it just the opposite of what you did to put it in. Loosen your back, then loosen your front. And catch your knife so it doesn't hit the ground. And don't get too silly with the knife. Now this is actually a little bit of solvent. I use it to clean up and take the marker off the knife. And you know, if you're doing it professionally for someone, they definitely like their knife to come back looking better than when they dropped it off. Got a nice pretty edge. Certainly looks wonderful. Okay, see how she cuts. I would say she's sharp. There you go, fellas. Okay, YouTubers, I've laid out a small sampling here of the things I've sharpened with the KO3. Now, you can see, you know, small knives, big knives, pruning shears, larger scissors, metal shears, more scissors. It's done them all with absolutely no issues. It's held them all. I haven't had to get fancy, haven't had to do anything fancy, cute. It's just done them. So I figure that speaks for itself. Now,